All right. So let's get started. So, yep. Good morning, good evening. I see I have one person. Um, how do I spell your name? Um, are you there? Um,
Yes, I'm here. I'm trying to, because I'm in the office, I'm trying to switch my audio to headset. But I'm
okay.
finding that a little bit difficult to do. So my name is Olusegun. For the sake of simplicity, you can just call me Olu.
Okay, thanks a lot. That makes it very simple. Welcome, Olu, to this session. We may expect more people joining in. If you're comfortable with your mic off, that's fine. And we will go through the conversation. The only ask for the session is uh, that this is a hands-on session. So the goal would be to end up uh, building something and setting up my system for uh, building with AI. So that being the theme of the session. So what I would do is I'll share my screen and I'll show some aspects, few tools, and yeah, just give it. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and this is going to be a hands-on session, and the goal would be to set up my system, my laptop, uh, to be able to leverage the AI capabilities, leverage these large language models like ChatGPT or Claude. How can we leverage them to be able to build really, really fast, basically build with AI, building at AI speed. So there's a bunch of setup required, and there's a way of doing this, the way of thinking about this. And for that, let me give me a moment. So to guide along the program, what we have is there is a content which you can have access to, and it is available for free. It's open for all. What for that I would require you to um, I'm posting the link. It is our Open Academy, Enqurious Academy. So you can go there and you can do a quick sign up. You can join in using your Google account. You can sign up with your Google account, and there I have content which I'm going to share here on my screen. I'll show you the view which you will get. So academy.incurious.com. This is where we have kept lots of content, and this content is something which you can use. You can learn from the topics which are of your interest. We are mostly catering to um, the job personas of a data engineer, data analyst, data scientist, AI engineer, DevOps engineer, Databricks engineer, Snowflake engineer. So there are many roles what we are catering to, and we have kept a lot of hands-on projects to work on, master classes to pick concepts, uh, hands-on small scenarios to work on, and master classes is something where I'm trying to point to, which is this piece of content, which you can access as you join, as you become part of the academy. So you can basically go there and sign up with Google or GitHub. Maybe Google is best. You can sign up with that. And once you are in, so if you are in, I'll just log in with my uh, credentials. I am in, and there's a lot of content to explore. I have already started some content, so you can go to my learnings, and you can pick up some of the content if you have picked up earlier. You can go to any uh, piece of path. All these paths are available. You can go ahead and work on them. So if you are trying to pick up SQL skills, you can go to this path. We basically use a very real world problem statement. So basically, you can read the problem statement and it helps you learn the essentials of SQL. You can get inside and you can basically follow the steps to kind of set yourself up to start querying. You can these are all the ways where you can start to learn. So on along the way, what we're going to do is that we're going to get this content. This is the reference of today's session. That the goal would be that to build something, but also to build in a way that you are having some grip of what is I think my screen went off. There was a network issue, so I'll get back. So yeah, this is what I was trying to say. This is the content in which, if you see, this is the an example of a very simple uh, app, right? It's a e-commerce app where you can put up products and you can purchase. And the idea is to build it grounds up with the help of AI, build it, and as well as learn how what are these things, right? What are the concepts behind these? So it's important to be in hold of the technologies what we are learning. AI can do things at lightning speed, but the responsibility and accountability still lies with the human. So we need to know, we need to own what we are doing. So there are, I've been exploring responsible ways of skilling ourselves also, and being builders. So we really would like to build things. And keeping that in mind, I have kept this session where first thing first, I would request if you want to get the full leverage of this program, because I'm not going to be able to cover everything here. This is just to get you started. So I would request that you go to academy.enqurious.com. I put up the link already. Give me a moment. Yeah. And if you're already in, if you can just use the reaction. One second. Yeah, you can use the reaction option uh, at the bottom, and you can give a thumbs up if you're already in the academy. You need to just sign up with your Google. Once you are in, um, I'll show you where to go. Let me just quickly. One second. Yeah. So once you're in, you can once you're inside Academy, you can click Explore Contents, uh, and there you can go to Master Classes. And in Master Classes, the first one will be learning HTML and CSS with AI. You can click on that. I'll paste the link to the content also straight away. One second. I'll put it in the chat, the link to the content. Okay. So once you are in, this is the link to the content. So you can follow that content independently to follow things step by step, and be able to set up your system to be able to build with AI. So what I'm going to do is I'm again going to share my screen. I think it is already shared. Yeah. So I just quickly show the learning path of what this is all about. So the idea would be uh, to learn the concepts of HTML and CSS, which are the foundations of web development, right? Through an example, a simple piece of code. And the idea would be to break that code, break that entire code piece by piece, and learn it 10x with the help of AI. So building with AI as well as learning with AI. So you can follow this step by step. There are videos and there are a few questions which you can try out to test your knowledge, test your understanding. There are like uh, three modules. So there is one building phase, there's a debugging phase, and then there's a very interesting phase of learning about developer tools, which are very useful tools to kind of play around with these elements. And finally, there is a learning summary, learning notes. You can even use these learning notes to basically have a quick summary about different concepts, code samples, and snippets. So that is something which you can get from the content. But let's get to the important part of the session, and which is going to be how do I set myself up, right? So there would be a bunch of software you would be needing. So first thing you would be needing is Cursor. So the Cursor is your pair programmer, AI pair programmer. You can simply, and it is one of the fastest growing IDEs. It's an offshoot of VS Code, but it is a very useful one. So I quickly want to know how many of you already have Cursor. You can again use the reaction option and give me a thumbs up. Would like to know how many of you have Cursor. Okay. Okay. Doesn't have, you can use anybody. Okay. Good. So don't have, which is good thing. So the first thing would be to straight away open up your browser, go to Cursor, click on that, do it right away. Download for Windows, double click, install. Let's go ahead and do that. I've already done it. So simply go ahead and download. It should be up in minutes. And as it is going to be up, it is going to look something like this. Let me open. One second. All right, so let me share my screen again. All right, and this is how it should look like as you download it. I think it should be coming up in the light theme itself. There should be a blank area, or it would be asking you to create new folder. You can do that. So your folder would something, it will look something like this. So maybe inside your C drive, you'll have, you need to create a folder, and I've called it as my Git repos. Basically, inside this, I have all my projects. So every folder is a project which I have tried out to build ever. And the next important thing is that every project which I have is Git version. It's an important aspect when you want to build something at AI speed, and even without that, the traditional way of building software has been to version it. So if your code base or your folder in which you are keeping your code is versioned, which uh, that's the way where you keep managing the change of your code. Okay, so this should be there with you. So I'm just checking in the chat, asking me to sign up. Yes, you can sign up. So if you download it and if you run it, can you share your screen if it is okay, Olu, to check like what it is doing? I'm just stopping my screen share. I'm yet to see your screen. Just hold on.
I basically skipped the subscription
Yeah, then
session.
that's fine. Yeah. So then it gets to the agent one. That is okay. Yeah, you can continue. You can, yeah. What does it say? What does it say? Language for AI, open from terminal. That's fine. You can simply say continue. You can always change all those.
Okay,
So this
I
should,
have this window. Do I have to sign in?
yeah, nothing. So I think it's ready. So it's exactly
Okay.
how, so it's just that you are in, yours is in dark mode, and
Okay.
you can click on that open project, which is right below there. Yeah, when you can click on that. And if you have any folder already created, you can basically call that folder here. So from your which wherever you want to keep your project files. So just that I showed you that I kept a folder
Mhm.
in my C drive. You can do something. You can decide a place where you would want to keep and organize your code. So you can do that from anywhere, and you can call that folder from here, from cursor. So that way it will start reflecting on the left side.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that should set you up for cursor. And what I'll do is, 1 second. I'll share my screen again. Yeah. So yeah, few useful things which would be needed to work with um, cursor. It is an coding environment, which means that you write code here. Let me show you a demo of a small uh, project. So for example, this personal website, inside that you see there is this bunch of code. This is HTML code, and this is nothing but this is here in this one. I have a project called personal website. This is the index.html, and if I double click, it comes like this, right? It comes with a nice um, animation, a bit of effects, right? If I hover over, color is changing. So something very interesting has come up, and it is nothing but this code, right? So similarly, there are other projects also. There are some bigger projects which I've been building, and these are having a lot of things. But I've been able to learn all these very fast, at least to be able to build something which is working and which people can use. So how this would happen is, for example, here also I can either create a new folder project, or I can say I can open a folder. So when I say open a folder, you can go to any project and you want to open that, you can do it. Or if you, most of the times I have already decided this is the place where I'll keep all my projects. So within this, I may say create a new project, and I would you have to be little careful that it doesn't get created as a sub project. So basically, this if this becomes little big, we need to organize it a little bit. 1 second. So is one thing. Give me a moment. Yeah. So in this one, if we come here and if we have different projects, ensure that nothing is selected. And then if when you click on it, you will get a new project created. If you see there's a new project coming up, and we can call this as a demo project, right? So the moment I create this demo project here also you would see it's basically that's how they are connected, right? So here you'll be having a demo project folder, right? And this folder currently has nothing. So the first thing what we do is that once that folder is there, yeah, in your in your cursor, right? On the right side, if you see, this is when you see new chat, this is nothing but your agent, basically the agent who is sitting here, and this is where you talk to AI and you take AI's help to build things without the need to write any code by yourself, right? You're only talking to the system. And for this, there is something called add context. And when you click on add context, there are a lot of things you can add here. You can add images here, you can add pieces of code here, you can connect to documents, you can connect to past chats, a lot of things. But what is useful for me has been folder, which folder I should be. So since I want to work on this project, So my projects, this one should be, one second. It should be files and folders. And yeah, files and folders. Inside that, if I go, so I can specifically point to that project also. I don't know why it is like personal website. Okay. So if I see, I can connect to anyone. So in this one, I can connect to that personal website folder which has something. So right now, if I connect to my Git repos, which means it is going to be the entire folder's context. It is going to know. So it is important that what is the context you want. So this index.html, it is in the personal website, right? So here, that's why it was giving the context of files and folder and personal website. So personal website. So whatever I write here, it is basically is going to know, and it knows that this is where your project is sitting. Correct. And this outcome. Suppose what I'll do is I'll remove this. Let me remove this. It's completely blank. Okay. And here I'm going to talk to it, and I'm be giving a very simple prompt that okay, help me build a simple but attractive portfolio website, right? Give it modern looks, whatever you feel like, right? Right now, I'm not giving a lot of context. Give it modern looks and whatever. Uh, yeah, with modern UI, whatever. All right. And if you see here, it is in agent mode. So it is going to plan, search, and it is what is recommended. So we simply do this, and let me put the right context again. Yeah. Okay. And I will give it to the agent. Agent is going to plan its moves. So, and if you, whatever you see in light font, it means it is thinking, it is giving its entire planning. So if you want to really understand how it came up with what it came up, this is useful to read. So it is so immediately it should start uh, building, give you a plan. And once it comes back, yeah. So see, it thought for 32 seconds. I'll create a new portfolio website folder with a modern responsive static index.html, styles.css, and script.js, including a dark light theme, sticky nav bar, animated sections, and project cards. I don't understand many of things, maybe. It depends upon how well versed, but I'm assuming that you are just coming up to know that how do I start building without, don't think a lot right now. Let's trust AI. That's what I say. All right. So we'll say, all right, let's go ahead. So I'm giving my consent that let's go ahead, and it's going to respond by that it's going to think that okay, what is to be done. Okay. So okay, now it is again starting to think how it is going to do the design part of it. It's giving a lot more details inside it. So if you are, the more you know, the more you'll be able to understand what it is doing. And I'm trying to do the other part. Let's build quickly and then try to figure out how it happened, right? So building with AI means getting to outcomes faster, getting to your ideas, getting to implement your ideas faster. Okay. So it is saying a new portfolio website folder it will add. Okay, fine. Sure, let's go ahead. There's some issue happening. I'm just trying to understand. Let's just see. Now there's something wrong happening here. I'm just thinking maybe what I'll do is I'll try once again. So yeah, one second. Okay, let's keep it. Let's keep it here itself, and then and I'll put my request again. Okay, let's build a modern, responsive portfolio website. Let's see. Let's try once again. I'll close that. So we'll try this. If this works, fine. Otherwise, we have another way to do this, which is again a fun way of doing that. I've tried that before. I'll show you, but let's first see, because these tools are evolving very fast, so they keep changing a lot of things. I'm just assuming. Not for scaffolding a new this website, including this mode. I'll add this one. Okay. Sure, go ahead. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This was the thing. So what it did, if you see, it created this file, and this file is now ready, available to you. And what you can do is, if you go back to your project folder, so it would have created the project, right? So what did it create? Personal website. Inside personal website, index.html, and if you click on it, see, in one shot it created this, and you have to just keep changing few of these areas. You may add images here. There's a lot of things you can do, but the best part is that in one shot you're getting something which you can immediately show to something, and you just feel wow about, right? It suddenly makes you feel good about that. Okay, there is something which I've achieved, and it's in your browser, although it is your local browser, but it is in your browser, and it is showing your outcome. And when you go back to cursor, it's basically has what it has done is it has by itself added these index.html, styles.css, scripts.css, readme.js, right? So yeah, so it is kind of and now again, if you see here, there's a readme.js. It has also come in script.js, readme.md. Sorry, this is called the markdown file. Script.js, and then there's some style files are here. And as you see, it is building itself, and it continues to add. Now there is an assets folder, if you see, and there are like bunch of images there. So it is still continuing to build. I'm just observing, getting wowed, and at times I need to, and there are a few things I need to do. And there are ways where we need to also ask it to hold itself. It basically is something which is intelligent. It knows a lot of things, and it is going to tell you a lot of things. But it depends upon how much we can chew. So there are some prompts which we can give it to. We can give it to cursor here to say that slow down. All right. So then it is giving you a bunch of things here. Starting a local server to preview the new site. It will run the background. You can open it immediately. I don't know about this. What is this? I can simply say skip. I need not allow it to do everything. So what these guys have done is that it is continuing to do new things here, but we can always ask it to take a pause. All right. So I will say stop. Okay. So what happened is it has right now it has stopped thinking. and it has built something, and I can go back to the page. And where did I open it from? Yeah, here. You see now it added more things. So if I refresh, a lot of things which have come. If I say view projects, images have come. Um, Here there are a few more things. So at that time it was building that website, right? So there were a few more elements which were coming up. So it was a previous snapshot of the same website, correct? However, if you hold on, yeah. So once you come here, then you basically get to see, okay, this code you may not understand that well, which is fine. Again, AI is able to do all these as per, like portfolio website building is one of the easiest thing today, where you can get wowed by that. Okay, how could an app be built? And this is just driven by your curiosity, that how curious you are, and how much of tinkering you want to do and get into all these pieces of code, what's happening, not happening, is going to tell you a lot of things, right? But before that, there is this uh, code. If you see, it is saying keep all, 4 out of 8, 1 out of 1. There are tons of things it is showing. So there are 8 files, and this is the first file, styles.css. And within this file, there is just one change, and it is asking undo or keep. Undoing means I don't want, keep means okay. So I don't have a reason to reject. I'll say keep all. Basically, I did keep all, which means it has kept all the one. Then it's saying review the next file, which is into scripts.css. I would again scripts.js. It is a JavaScript file. Again, JavaScript, something which we might be interested in learning. But right now, again, trust AI, keep everything. Then review next file, keep everything. So basically, all I'm doing is simply accepting the changes, whatever AI has suggested. Next one. Okay. This is all good. Okay. So I think of everything, all the codes which I had. So this is assets, index.html, scripts.js, styles.css. These are the pieces of code which got created. Okay. And this basically, when you started off, it rendered this website. Let me just refresh it once again. Everything is good. Now the interesting thing is that once this is up, okay, I like this, so I need to keep it safe. And since we do not know about coding a lot, we are trusting AI a lot. So we'll ask AI to make changes, but not a lot of it. So if I want to build things upon this, right? For example, I wanted this also clickable. So when I click on this, it should take me to another page. That page has more details about that project, right? I want to change this live to color to something else, right? Instead of code, I want something else here. I want my actual image here, right? So how do I make those changes? So any changes when we want to do, so we want to be in control of those changes, because if anything breaks, I don't know where to look at. That's the challenge. So I want to basically play safe and document or save every next version of my work. So right now, this is my version 1. So AI is capable of creating a top version, a top beautiful looking thing in one shot. That's the power which AI has, but I want to keep it safe, so that if anything goes wrong, I can always come back to this version of my work, which I already like it. So the point is that there is this idea of versioning, keeping your code safe, and your code needs to be somewhere from where you can always retrieve it. And that's the place, and that's where GitHub comes into picture, right? So having a GitHub account is an essential must if you want to travel the path of uh, say software development, application development, data science, data engineering, and whatnot. So this is my personal GitHub repository. And once with AI, if you see, there are I have been working with AI, and I've been the code. If you see that it's committed by two people to two contributors, and most of the times my contributor is AI. Claude helps me to basically write a lot of code and commit it, and I keep every step documented. So, but how do we set this up? This is something which is a bare must. So first thing is that you need to have an account on GitHub, right? So you need to set it up. So you need to simply go to github.com and quickly set up your account. Basically, sign up and do with Google, and you should be up and within GitHub. It's an essential must. You should sign up at GitHub if you really want to build things with AI. So if you can quickly go ahead and do this, and I will simply get to show you the next thing. You can do it. It's like it will take again 5 minutes. I'll continue and show the next steps here. So once you have your GitHub profile, so I have my GitHub profile, and the most important thing in GitHub profile is your repositories. Repositories are like your folders in your local. So those folders in local is synced with a remote repository which is on some server. So GitHub provides server where there are folders which are on remote and which are synced with your local. So which means your local project which is local to your laptop, when your laptop is closed, that project is cut off. But if you're keeping on GitHub, if you lose your code from your system, you can always retrieve it from GitHub. So your code is always fail safe. And second, which goes beyond GitHub, is the idea of Git itself, which is the Git versioning system, right? So the versioning system is which you need to install on your system, right? So for that, you need to go to Git, simply Git, and basically Git source control, Git SCM download, and it takes you to the classic Git page. Clicking on downloads, depending upon what is your system. Mine is Windows, your could be Mac. You could switch that and you can do the installations for Git or Windows. But the way to know whether it is there on your system or not is to simply go to your command prompt wherever you are, git -- version, and you should have Git version. If Git is installed, you have the version system is installed in your machine. If not, complete the steps of going to this page, downloading the right one for your system. And for Windows, you have to double click install. And once it happens, you have to run this command and it gets things done. I'll tell you one important thing, a useful thing, right? Or basically a smart thing where you don't need somebody like me to show you all these, right? You can always talk to your AI friend, right? I can always tell that, hey, I need to set up Git on my machine. It's a Windows 10. How shall I go ahead? Simply as you would ask me, if you don't know, you ask AI, and it's going to give you better responses than me. And it is going to give you a bunch of things. It is going to give you this link. I didn't know it. I knew only through asking to the AI, right? So Claude is my buddy. So I talked to it, and it's mentioned everything. Done it, run it, do it. So more context to give. If you tell about your system and everything, if you have Mac, say it's a Mac machine, so it's going to give you the Mac specific instructions. Otherwise, it's giving me Windows specific instructions. Then bunch of steps. Once you do that, initial configuration, git config you have to do, and all these things you have to run in the command prompt. That's the comfort you need to get to, or you straight away get to your folder. You straight away get to your folder, and in this folder, in cursor, you have to spin up a terminal. So if you see here, the folder which I am in, so I'll just change directory, and which would be the folder personal website. So I'm getting in this folder, correct? And this is where my code sits. All the other assets folder and index.html files all are sitting here. Okay. All right, 1 second. So in this we need to set up the Git system. So this you could install anywhere. So you could go to your command prompt and you can simply run this line, something like copy this, and you can simply do this, right? And your name. Now, what would be this your name and your email? This is your Git. When you go to Git and you have your GitHub account created. So this is my name, Amit hyphen MSKL, right? And the email which you use to sign up, that email needs to be provided in the other one, which was git config and name, and then next was git config email, I believe. Yeah. So once you do these two setup, and then you can do verify installation. And once this is there, you can come to you can actually come out of this black screen, which might be a little scary, and you can come here and you can this is the same thing, command prompt only, right? So it's the same command prompt which is here, and where you can start giving commands. Okay, so this is the place where we start setting it up. So for that, the first important thing would be that you should be creating a local folder that's there. Also create, once your GitHub is set up, go ahead and create a remote folder. So basically, when you want to check your repositories, you can simply click new and you can give it a name. You can say personal website. I can give the same name for so that it doesn't lead to any confusion. No need to touch upon anything. Everything is fine. You don't need to worry about anything. Simply say create repository. And the moment it does it, it basically gives you a bunch of commands which you need to run through in the command prompt. So you can simply take these and you can go ahead and execute them. So I can simply copy that and come here. So I simply pasted that and it ran all the commands, first one, second one. And how do I know what happened? What changed? Suddenly you see this green dots, U, and in your cursor, this one icon is where your files and folders sit. This I don't use. This is a next very important icon, which is Git. And that folder suddenly is now connected to the Git versioning system. And you can see things like these projects, and U means untracked. It is not yet tracked. You need to track. But before tracking, you need to do something which is called committing. Okay. So if you see here, first commit. So something has already happened. Let me show. If I go back to, let's come to this one. One moment. Yeah, okay. So if I come here, so what will happen here? Git commit branch remote origin. Yeah, if I push this, okay, I come back to this one and let's check here. So you see here right now what happened from the previous one to this one, readme.md, that is in. Okay, and it happened because of these commands. If you see what I did, I created a readme.file, and there is an important command git add. So basically you create this file, you add that file, you give a commit message. These commits are very important, which means that it becomes a checkpoint that if anything goes wrong, I can always revert back. So it is like your milestone point where whatever is good, just hold on and commit it there, so that even if something goes wrong after that, I can always revert back to this point. It is like your snapshot point, correct? So it basically talks about all that. And then this branch hyphen main, this is your main branch. This is also which you can find out on your GitHub. And this is basically, this is your main branch, correct? And when you come back, and then this git remote, this git remote basically connects the local folder to the remote folder. And yeah, And finally, you do that, you push your code. All right. So what I'll do is I'll do that again, these steps again, but now I will add every other files also. So dot means add everything. So now from you, all of them become A. So they are now added to the this one, the versioning system. And I will give a message here. Um, Website code files loaded. See all these files getting added. Once they are done, I need to simply do when after commit, I need to do a push. Pushing means from here, it is going to the GitHub remote server folder. And if I refresh here, I will see the next commit here. See? And if I see here, those files are also here. You can actually click and you can look at your code also, but that is fine. This is GitHub is there open for everyone. So it's your choice. You want to keep a repository public or private. So you can create private repositories also. But yeah, it's for learning. So no harm. Everything is there. And the good thing is that your code is no longer at your local. It is pushed to the remote. And you see this graph is coming. First commit, second commit, right? If I committed any mistake here, I can go to the first commit, right? And there are git commands for that. But this is an important part of building with AI. Even if you don't know things, you have to be cautious. It can build a lot of things. It is one of the best programmers, I would say best coders out there, one of the best coders because it knows everything, every code patterns, every syntax. But it can build a lot of things, but it can, if anything going wrong, it can create a havoc, right? So yeah, so this is where the Git versioning system is important. That's the next milestone. If you get your GitHub account created, and if you're able to go through these steps and complete them, then you have the second milestone achieved in working with AI, right? Which is ensuring that if you build at speed, but you also have these checks and balances and these checkpoints to which you can always fall back upon. Okay. All right. So once this is done, the next thing is always to, when you are actually starting off, give some system prompts. So system prompt would be the prompts which you give it to for it to basically sort of describe its persona, right? So you can always describe it that okay, hey, you need to be slow. You need to do things. Give me small pieces of code which I can try, experiment, see, wait for my feedback. So I'll show you few prompts which are useful. And these are like simple prompts which I have built. For example, consider myself as a beginner in web development. I'd want you to be slow, short, precise, concise in your responses. Be patient, wait after you give me one small piece of learning to consume. Let me respond with further queries or validation. Give me feedback and based on my progress, decide next steps. You give this prompt and it's going to slow down and it's going to do things at your pace. Whatever you can consume, it will build you that only. Otherwise, it can see it in one shot. It created so many things. I don't have any idea about this HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I mean, now I have, but if you're a beginner, you will be overwhelmed. We don't want to be overwhelmed. Like a good teacher, if you say, "Sir, please calm down, ma'am, slow down. I need to do step by step." So it's your call, how comfortable you are. Now I am a little comfortable working with these pieces of code. But if you are beginner, uh, the idea is not to get overwhelmed. So now with this, the next important point which everybody misses, that you build something and your code is there live, right? And you are able to find a nice, beautiful page which is also working. So where did our page go? Yeah, this is our web page. Although this is local, but this is how it will look if it is. And there are a bunch of steps which you take. For example, you need to get this deployed on a server like Heroku or hosting. These are hosting servers like Heroku, or there is something called Netlify. So you want to host it there, and this will then be shown as a link to everybody. Right now, this link is only local. It only I can see. It's a link to a file. not a website URL, right? So, but those are not those very important steps. Then now the point is that you have built something very useful, very interesting. So how do I now dissect it? And now I start my learning journey. Till now I was building, but I was trusting AI. But now is the important part which most of us miss. We get happy at this so much that we forget about that we don't own it yet. Right? There are a lot of things which need to be done. There is some head to be put around. We need to slow down. But the good news is that AI can help you do that also. Right? So, but before AI, you could, I mean, you can ask AI to help you, say, explore this page better. So I can simply do one thing. I'll take a simple snap, and I'll give it to AI itself. So I'll maybe start a new conversation and give this one and say, hey, I am a newbie to web development, and I have created this web page. How do I explore the different elements? Let's see. See, it talks about browser developer tools, best method. So it knows the best method and it's going to suggest you that. So all we have to do is simply ask it whether you and give it something to see or read. So I'm given that exact snapshot of where I am, and I had the question that, okay, how do I know, how do I change this blue color to green? How do I, this is a bluish theme, right? How do I change the theme to something else? I have all that I have is these curious questions. So if you see, I'm hovering, it is little bit going up and down. See, how is that happening here? How is this suddenly the shade came behind, right? How is that happening, right? So all we are doing is that I'm trying to ask a bunch of questions, and I need to know that how do I explore this. So if I ask this question to and I'll be looking for, say, a mentor or somebody who's going to guide you, or maybe who's going to sit with you. That person is going to get time, that person is busy. What do? You simply take a snapshot, and as you would give it to that person, you give it to AI, and AI is going to give you exactly the thing you need to do. And it is saying right click anywhere on your page and select inspect. So all you need to do is, for example, this blue color. So I right click and there is something called inspect. I do, and it straight away takes me and it starts giving me a visual feedback of, if I on the right side, there's this thing, scary looking thing opens up, but this is also a very interesting one. So if I start from the top, it says HTML, there's head, there's body, there's a header, there's section. See, so many things are coming up, and then there's a button, right? And then you see here view projects. So if instead of view projects, I say view courses, you see this one, it is responding here. It became view courses. So all I'm doing is I'm just going and playing around with it. I have the color here. You see here, there's color here. I can play with this color. I can change the color. For example, and it's all about trying. So if I change something, you see something is happening. It's an interesting thing happening. It's something you would want to play around with it, right? So you see, it changed. So it's I'm simply learning with visual feedback, and I'm saying I'm doing something here, and there's something happening, right? And if you're now more interested, hey, what's happening? You can even do this. Take this snapshot again and give it back to AI and tell it exactly what you're doing. Hey, I've been playing with the button colors. How does this work? What are these elements? Okay, so it basically would read it, and from there it is going to give you few, because it is able to read everything on the left side. That could be your way to get started with HTML. Now you are making sense of these, whatever code is being written, div p h1, what is so you are now getting some hang of it, right? And that's the whole idea of having the AI mentor, where you tell AI that, okay, you are somebody who knows web development really well, but I am a beginner or I am a newbie. So you need to tone down to my level and help me at my pace of learning. So your pace of learning or your way of picking up questions could be different than my way, right? But in the end, it's entirely upon your curiosity that, okay, what is this A class, right? Let's see what it answered there. So it is talking about button primary and then saying magic connection, how the button styling works. So you are simply starting with your question. And it is straight away taking you to how is HTML working, how is CSS working, and you're getting your first entry into from wherever. And then you say, hey, can you explain me more about this code? You can give that entire HTML code. What I have done is I have actually connected it to my GitHub. You can also do that. But instead of that, I could do something faster, which is I can simply upload that HTML file index.html here, or I can basically upload all the important files. Okay, maybe I'll just ask it to. Okay, now help me learn the index.html code step by step. Help me understand what each line does. You can actually go, you can ask it to slow down to as detailed as possible, or you could go as speed up as possible. It's about what is the quite, and you see it started going step by step. So and for every step it is saying, tells the browser this is modern HTML. HTML lang, which means root element. Okay, there is something called root element, helps screen readers and search engines. Then the head part. Then there is something called meta tag. Okay, viewport makes your site work. Oh, this is what is helping to view any website on mobile as well as on different systems. Viewport. I got something new to learn, right? And then each and every piece. The whole idea is that, are you now trying this? And you can even ask it that, okay, hey, can you help me build the website grounds up from one simple code to another? So the same thing what it built in one shot, it is now it's going to help you to do that step by step. You see, this is the first piece of code it gave you, and this is going to be your outcome. All right. Then it is adding more pieces of code here, and it is adding more aspects, right? Then it is again adding few more things. It is adding, say, beautification on top of it. It made it better, right? And every step it is, and you can always go back to history and you can look at each and every step, or you can ask it to pause. For example, it is now, right now it is doing by itself. There are a few more prompts which, and as I showed you that prompt, which was an important prompt, which always keeps you in control, which was this one, right? I wanted to be slow, short. Right now, again, it is speeding up, and that's the challenge with AI. It speeds up, and it's kind of in a hurry to kind of let you know everything. I know it has started building something, something which looks nice, right? But again, it did it with how many versions? 5 versions. So this was your step one. You can actually go to step one and see the code. Try this. The most important thing, which I tell everybody, is try by yourself, right? Copy this, paste it in your, so you take this and you open your, uh, this one, go to your project, um, this one, or go to a new project, maybe create a new project. And in that project, you create an index.html. You paste it. I created wrong. Should be HTML. All right. You can execute it, open it locally, see the change. So again, I'll just save this and go back to the demo. This one, I'll double click on it. See, this is what is important, that you get to see it by yourself. Just don't trust AI. I would say now you would say that, okay, you used to say trust AI, now you're saying not trust AI. It's important because I'm in learning phase, so I need to verify myself things are working. Now it is the truth which you will accept. Oh, now I accept it. Yes. All right. So this is the power which you can leverage, where it's you may feel that, okay, you're learning because it is doing a lot of things, but the real learning only happens when you actually keep this, try things. and it gives you all the tools. You can say explain. It can explain you a lot of things here. You can highlight the piece of code, for example, body, and I can say explain what is this. So it has infinite patience. You can go to the next step, and then you again look at the code. Okay, what changed compared to my previous code, right? Then you go to the next step. Something else happened. What changed? Okay, suddenly how these colors are starting to come, right? Because the previous the previous two versions were plain text sort of things, right? So by the difference you see that, okay, between step 2 and step 3, what got added were styles, and styles are related to CSS. So I get a very vague hang of what's happening by simply seeing the outcomes. I'm getting a visual feedback every time, and that's the part which AI speeds up. So it's the next version. It started making few more things here, right? There's something called NAV. So you can always compare, and you can learn, you can figure it out, and or you can simply ask, hey, what changed from step 1 to step 2? It is telling you everything. Then step 2, what happened? Then step 3, what happened? And it hence it is telling what CSS does and what everybody else does. And finally, if you see that it is adding multiple aspects, and it has made something which is decent, very simple, but something which is consumable also, right? So that's the most important part, that once you figure this out, suppose once you figure this out, uh, you can also end up by saying, you can also end up by saying, uh, one second. Yeah. Can you summarize? So you can basically document your journey. So you can now say, can you summarize the journey till here in the form of a short paragraph with bulleted points on what to expect in this journey, right? View, right? So I can always, once again, this journey in the form of a, not short paragraph, in the form of a blog documenting the goals, steps taken, challenges faced, and outcomes achieved, right? So what it will do is that you are now documenting your learning, which is again very important because we ourselves forget, and it's a good practice to document. And the heavy part which AI takes away is for the headache of writing. Okay, so as long as whatever is your experience, you've been able to document, and then you can, again, this document also you can version in your code itself. All right. And if you see it, it creates a very nice write up with that situation, and it is actually reflecting the situation where we were in. So the challenge was that it has a website template but no idea of how it would work. Then learning to use browser developer tools. See, this is what I ended up doing, right? We ended up exploring the developer tools. Then we looked at the HTML structure, watching elements, edit CSS properties, what I clicked. So I talked about that button. So it is talking about that button. Phase 2, then I built it from grounds up. So it is documented every step. And this is something which you can even keep, you can save it, or you can share with your friends via GitHub or even otherwise. So this also helps you to document, and you can always come back and see that what you learned. So for you, or even for everybody else, this write-up could help you to communicate yourselves better, right? So once this thing is done, you can always come back here, and you see it is still pointing to this place, and you can say to do more things. So here I can say, hey, can you add say add a um, cart and checkout section. Let's see. So it is saying I'll do that. Okay. So it is, if you see, okay, now hold on. Let me update the necessary files. Okay. So let it do that. So here it is okay, so it is going to make some changes. So basically now what I'm doing is I'm now continuing in my journey. I built my first version, I versioned it, I documented my journey, I learned about it, right? I completed everything, and then I'm ready to move to the next step. So whatever I built, now I'm comfortable about that. You see, it has done few changes. You see this one in personal website, it has done something. Okay. So if you see here, index.html is changed. So here, because it is versioned, you basically get to see what is changed, not changed. In index.html, it is M. And if you go to the Git page, it clearly shows there is a change in this file. And now it asks you whether you want to commit it, right? So we'll say, so it has said something it has done. Okay, so hold on. Okay, let it complete. So it is now added styles.css. So it is now going to add script.js changes also. So let me get that done also. So right now index.html and styles.css both are there in there for the changes, but I'll wait for the changes in scripts. I think scripts.js also got changed. What else does it have for me? Let's see. Okay, it says that I've successfully done that. Check out features, UI, UX, how to use, blah, blah. It has told you a bunch of things. All right. So if that is the case, let me go back and check again. Let me close this and let me refresh this. Okay, it picked up some of that change which we did. Okay, it has given that also, but where is the cart? Just hold on. Add items, add to cart on any project card. So if I go to any project card, no, I don't see any add to cart yet. So let me check again. So this is indexed at, okay, about styles.scripts, CSS, about styles, CSS. And if I go back and personal website, index.html, yeah, see. So here we have add to cart. And here you have cart icon. You see this one? It has got added here. I've got checkout with email, full email address. So many things it has done so quickly, right? Again, I can say add to cart this one. 2 projects got added. So building has become so easy, but there is so many things which it will not, you will discover very quickly that this is still just a sort of a design UI UX wireframe. It is still not reflecting actual data. This is all hard coded, right? And that is where you start building your journey. But the point is that if you have ideas, it can convert things very, very quickly. Now, if you see, do you want to keep all the same thing, right? It is now whatever changes it has made since I have saved. And if you see on Git, now there are these changes. So it's a different project. This is the one. These are the changes you want to make. You want to move those changes or you want to discard those changes. If you want to discard, you can also discard that. So I want to keep whatever I had earlier. So I'll say discard. So all the changes will be gone. I'll discard this also. Changes will be gone. I'll discard this also. Changes will be gone. So my project is back to what it was. That's the beauty of Git versioning. I could even have pushed it, and then there are ways where I could actually switch back to the previous version, switch back to the previous state. So the states are important. And because again, AI can build, you see, AI has built so many changes, 79 lines of code added, 286 lines of code added, 160 lines of code added. But what are these pieces of code doing? It's something which is a challenging thing. And as beginners, it might be very overwhelming. But the idea is not to get scared by the overwhelming code because most of it would be right. But what is important that we learn responsibly, which means that after we have actually versioned our code and everything on GitHub, then come back to AI and ask AI, what happened, take a snapshot, basically upload the code here, ask it to act like a teacher and guide me step by step, give some of those prompts to ask it to slow down and ask it to give more examples, ask it to give anecdotes, ask it to give code samples, pieces, take those code pieces, get inside your IDE, right? Copy paste that code as it, and anywhere you are stuck, take the snap here. If there is anything, what do I need to do here? For example, if you are very new, you don't know how I started. I took a snap of this, gave it to AI, and said that tell me what to do, and it told me. Right? All I had to was to follow it, and I was most of the times I was able to get things done, right? So it's a powerful tool if you are really curious about learning something new and you're self-driven. It can take you light years ahead. So I think this is what the setup would be all about. You need by the end of this session, we are about to end the session. But by the end of this session, I hope that you've got enough information so that you are able to set up your entire system. You need to have IDE. I recommend Cursor. It has, I mean, VS Code if you have it, that's also fine. Basically, any IDE today has agents there, but I started with the Cursor, so it's something I'm continuing with. And you need to have a Git version system installed, and you need to have GitHub so that you could sync your work and you could host it so that you could ensure that you are keeping your changes aligned and you are committing in small pieces like this. All right. So and yeah, and also you are documenting your work and you're keeping your documentation of whatever you are building and learning so that it is easy to explain to others and it is easy for you to learn in future. Again, coming back and looking at all this code is again will be overwhelming, but you can always look at the text which you have written as the documentation of your journey. That is something which is going to make your the what you produce, the output which you produce, which is going to be manageable and it is going to be something which everybody would be liking it. So with that, I'll take a pause and if guys have any question, you can let me know. I can answer that. Yeah, I'll take another 2 minutes. But meanwhile, I'll just pull out that we have a feedback form. We'll do that. And if you're part of, if you've already part of the academy, great. If not, I'd invite you to be part of Enqurious Academy. We'll send across this link to this content, which um, I uh, I asked everybody to be part of. We'll send the link even if anybody who's not part of this can join in academy and they can start off their learning journey. So yeah, I'll just hold on for any question if anybody has. I'm stopping my screen share.
Amit, thank you so much. It was such a great session. Um, I've been following you for quite a while before I took a break. Um, I got to know you through I can't really remember his name, but I don't want to say that now. So my first question would be, is it possible for you to please share the prompt template for with us?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Another question is, let's say, because currently, let's say I'm transitioning into DevOps,
Hmm.
and I want to, leverage on, AI in order to um, operate at the speed of AI. What would be your advice? And um, how do I customize things just to follow the kind of sample that you have shown?
Hmm. Right, right. Sorry, I didn't get your question. So if you could repeat.
All right. So my question is, even though you've used the use case that I shared right now, reflect more of going through the path of developer, right?
Yeah,
So as a DevOps engineer,
yeah.
what would be the hint
Okay.
as to, yeah.
Got it. And so we are planning to do a session to show the similar path from a DevOps engineer point of view. So what this one I did was from the point of view of a web app developer. But there are many such job roles which are different. For example, DevOps has a different way, a different career. For example, it starts a lot with Linux and it has a lot to do with automations, a lot to do with scripting. So I think it is very powerful where AI could also do that. And we are planning to do another session for DevOps engineer role and how could somebody could become a super powerful DevOps engineer with the help of AI and how could a DevOps engineer build at speed with AI. So just keep lookout for that. I think we are going to plan it as the next one. And I hope to see you there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome. All right, so just checking a few more things. Yeah, so we have, I think my colleague has posted links to our Discord, WhatsApp, and Slack community links. You can be part of that, where we keep sharing a lot of content across different job roles and personas. And these content, as I showed you on the Academy, it's about some master classes in scenarios, projects you could put your hands on, take help from AI, build them, share your experiences, notes, questions, and whatnot. So looking forward to everybody to be part of that, and grow the Enqurious Academy community. Um, yeah, leaps and bounds. So thanks a lot for joining in, everybody, and take care. Have a great evening or a great morning. Bye for now. See you later.
Thank you, Amit.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Olu. Take care. Bye bye.